Jay-Z confronts Lil Kim for leaking his disturbing crimes. The hip-hop world has always been full of rumors, secrets, and stories that people whisper about, but rarely say out loud. But one evening, a strange rumor suddenly began spreading online that caught everyone's attention. It started quietly on a few gossip blogs and fan pages, but within hours, it began moving across social media like wildfire. The rumor claimed that someone inside the music industry was about to reveal disturbing information connected to one of the most powerful names in hip-hop. At first, many people ignored it because the internet is full of fake stories. But the situation became more interesting when one particular name started appearing in these discussions again and again: Lil Kim. Fans began asking the same question everywhere. Why was Lil Kim's name suddenly connected to this mystery? Some online insiders claimed that she had information about events from years ago that the public had never heard before. Others said that she might have already shared those secrets with a small group of people and that the story was slowly leaking out. No one could confirm exactly what the information was, but the rumors kept growing. The more people talked about it, the bigger the story became. Blogs started hinting that the secrets were connected to someone extremely powerful in the industry, someone who had built an empire in music and business over many years. Eventually, people began pointing toward one name that shocked many fans: Jay-Z. Within just a few days, the rumor had become one of the most talked about topics in hip-hop discussions online. Some fans defended Jay-Z and said the story was obviously fake. Others believed that every big rumor usually starts with a small piece of truth. Meanwhile, Lil Kim's name continued appearing in every version of the story, making people wonder whether she really knew something that the public did not. The mystery felt like the beginning of a much bigger story that had not yet been fully revealed. At that moment, nobody knew whether the rumor would disappear like many internet stories do, or whether it would lead to something much more dramatic inside the music industry. But one thing was certain: the conversation had already started. And once a rumor like this begins moving through the entertainment world, it rarely stops without creating serious tension between the people involved. And according to several insiders, that tension was already beginning to build behind the scenes. Before the rumors started spreading across the internet, the names Jay-Z and Lil Kim had already been connected for many years inside the hip-hop world. Both artists came from an era when the music industry was growing fast and competition between rappers was intense. During the late 90s and early 2000s, hip-hop was becoming one of the most powerful forces in entertainment, and many artists were building their careers at the same time. Jay-Z was quickly rising as a businessman and rapper who understood how to control both music and business deals, while Lil Kim had already built a strong reputation as one of the most fearless female rappers in the industry. Because they were both active during the same period, their paths often crossed at industry events, award shows, studio gatherings, and private parties where major artists and executives would meet. These environments were where many relationships in the music world were created. Sometimes they led to collaborations, and sometimes they created quiet rivalries that the public never fully understood. According to people who followed the hip-hop scene closely at the time, both Jay-Z and Lil Kim were part of powerful circles that included producers, managers, and influential record label executives. Even though they were not known as direct rivals, they were definitely moving in the same competitive space. Back then, the hip-hop industry was very different from today. Social media did not exist yet, and many things that happened behind the scenes never reached the public. Artists could attend private meetings, business discussions, and exclusive events without anyone recording videos or posting pictures online. Because of that, many stories from those years remain unclear. Fans often hear small pieces of information, but the full story is rarely explained. This is why whenever old rumors suddenly appear again, people become curious about what might have really happened during those early years of hip-hop power and influence. Over time, Jay-Z continued building his reputation not just as a rapper, but also as a smart businessman who understood the industry better than most artists. He launched successful projects, worked with powerful companies, and slowly became one of the most respected figures in music. Lil Kim also maintained her place as an iconic artist who influenced fashion, music style, and female empowerment in rap culture. Both of them had loyal fan bases that respected their impact on hip-hop history. However, people who closely followed industry gossip often said that many relationships inside the music world were more complicated than they appeared on the surface. Artists might show respect in public while privately dealing with misunderstandings, disagreements, or personal tensions that fans never hear about. Some insiders even claimed that certain private conversations between different artists could sometimes create long-lasting confusion if they were misunderstood or repeated incorrectly. Because of this complicated history, when the new rumor involving Jay-Z and Lil Kim started spreading online, many longtime hip-hop fans immediately became interested. They remembered that both artists had been part of the same powerful music environment years ago. That connection made the situation feel more believable to some people, even though there was still no clear evidence that anything serious had actually happened. At the same time, other fans believed the entire story was simply internet drama. They argued that whenever two famous names from hip-hop history appear in the same rumor, the internet often exaggerates the situation to create excitement. But even those skeptical voices could not completely ignore the growing curiosity surrounding the story. The history between these two major figures in the music world made people wonder if the past might somehow be connected to the mysterious rumors now circulating online. As the discussion continued to grow, bloggers and online commentators started revisiting old interviews and past industry moments involving both artists. They searched for any hint of tension or misunderstanding that might explain why Lil Kim's name was suddenly appearing in a story connected to Jay-Z. Most of the time, they found nothing unusual, but the more they searched, the more attention the rumor received. What started as a quiet internet whisper was slowly turning into a much bigger conversation across the hip-hop community. And just when people thought the story might fade away, a new claim appeared online that shocked everyone even more. According to one anonymous source, the rumors were not just speculation anymore. Someone allegedly believed that information had already been leaked, and that this leak might have come from someone connected to Lil Kim. That new claim changed everything and pushed the story into a completely different level of drama. Just when many people thought the rumors would slowly disappear, something unexpected happened that pushed the entire story to a much higher level of attention. A small entertainment blog suddenly posted a mysterious message claiming that certain private information connected to Jay-Z had already been shared quietly among a few industry insiders. The post did not explain the full details, but it hinted that the information involved disturbing situations from the past that had never been discussed publicly. Within minutes, screenshots of that blog post began spreading across social media, and the story quickly started gaining serious attention. What made the situation even more shocking was that the blog strongly suggested that the leak might somehow be connected to Lil Kim. The post did not directly accuse her, but it implied that someone close to her circle may have shared certain conversations or stories that were meant to stay private. Because of the vague wording, people online began creating their own theories. Some believed the blog was exaggerating the situation just to gain attention, while others wondered if there might actually be something real behind the rumor. Very quickly, social media platforms became filled with discussions about the story. Fans started debating what the mysterious information could possibly be. Some people claimed it involved old industry parties where powerful figures from the music world would gather behind closed doors. Others believed it might be related to business disagreements or personal conflicts that happened many years earlier. Because no one had clear answers, the speculation only became more intense. Every new post or comment seemed to add another layer to the mystery. Several YouTube commentators and podcast hosts began talking about the rumor as well. Many of them reminded their audiences that the entertainment industry has always had hidden stories that never fully reach the public. They explained that sometimes information stays private for years until someone decides to speak about it. Even though none of the commentators had proof of the claims being made, the idea that something secret might have been leaked made the story impossible for people to ignore. Meanwhile, fans of Jay-Z quickly came to his defense. They argued that the internet often creates dramatic stories about powerful celebrities simply because those stories attract attention. According to them, There was no real evidence that any disturbing information even existed. They believed the rumor was just another example of how quickly misinformation can spread online. On the other side of the conversation, some fans felt that the sudden appearance of the story seemed too specific to be completely random. They wondered if someone somewhere might actually know something that the public had never heard before. As the days passed, more gossip blogs started repeating the same claim about a possible leak. Some of them said that people inside the music industry were privately discussing the situation but were afraid to speak publicly. Others claimed that certain individuals were trying to find out exactly where the rumor started so they could stop it from spreading further. Each new article made the story feel bigger and more serious, even though none of them provided clear proof. At the center of all this growing speculation were the same two names that had started the conversation in the first place, Jay-Z and Lil Kim. Because both of them were such well-known figures in hip-hop history, the rumor felt like something that could potentially shake the industry if it turned out to be true. But at the same time, the lack of real evidence made the entire situation feel mysterious and confusing. Behind the scenes, according to a few anonymous insiders, the situation was starting to create tension among people connected to the music industry. Some believed the rumor was damaging reputations without any proof. Others felt that someone was intentionally trying to create conflict between powerful artists for attention. Whatever the truth might have been, one thing was clear: the story was no longer just a small internet rumor. It had turned into a major conversation across blogs, podcasts, and social media platforms. Then, another surprising report appeared that made the drama even more intense. According to a source who claimed to have connections inside the industry, Jay-Z himself had finally heard about the rumor and was not happy about the situation at all. If the report was true, it meant the story had reached the very person whose name was at the center of the controversy. And if that happened, many people believed there was a strong chance that the situation could soon lead to a direct confrontation. As the rumors continued spreading across the internet, it was only a matter of time before the story eventually reached the person whose name was being discussed the most. According to several entertainment insiders, people close to Jay-Z soon became aware of the growing online conversation. At first, many within his circle believed the rumors would disappear quickly, just like many internet stories do. But when more blogs and commentators started repeating the same claims, the situation became impossible to ignore. Sources who claimed to be familiar with the situation suggested that Jay-Z was surprised by how quickly the rumor had grown. For someone who had spent decades building a powerful reputation in both music and business, seeing his name connected to mysterious accusations was something that could not simply be brushed aside. According to those same insiders, his main concern was not just the rumor itself, but the fact that people were beginning to believe it without any real proof. People within the industry often say that reputation is one of the most valuable things an artist can have, especially for someone who has spent years building influence and respect. Because of this, the sudden appearance of disturbing claims circulating online reportedly caught the attention of Jay-Z's management team as well. Some insiders claimed that discussions were happening privately about how the situation should be handled. Should the rumor be ignored and allowed to fade away, or should someone try to find out exactly where it started? While these conversations were allegedly happening behind the scenes, fans online were still trying to connect the story to Lil Kim. Many people were now repeating the claim that the supposed leak might have come from someone connected to her circle. Whether that claim was true or not, the repeated mention of her name was slowly turning the rumor into something that looked like a possible conflict between two well-known figures from the hip-hop world. According to one anonymous source who spoke to a small gossip blog, Jay-Z reportedly wanted to understand exactly how Lil Kim's name had become connected to the story in the first place. The source suggested that he believed the situation might be based on a misunderstanding or a piece of information that had been repeated incorrectly. In the music industry, rumors can sometimes grow quickly simply because people keep passing along half-heard conversations. If that had happened here, it could explain why the story suddenly appeared online without any clear proof. However, as the discussion continued to grow, some bloggers started suggesting that Jay-Z might not stay silent for long. They believed that if someone was intentionally spreading damaging rumors, he would likely want to address the situation privately. Many experienced figures in the entertainment world prefer handling conflicts quietly rather than turning them into public arguments. Because of this, some insiders believed there might already be private conversations happening behind closed doors. At the same time, fans on social media were closely watching every small detail for clues. Some people began analyzing old interviews and public appearances involving both artists, searching for any moment that might suggest tension between them. Others believed the entire situation was simply the result of exaggerated internet gossip. But, regardless of what people believed, the story had already created a strong sense of curiosity throughout the hip-hop community. The most dramatic claim appeared a few days later when a podcast host mentioned hearing that Jay-Z might be planning to confront the situation directly. The host did not provide proof, but he suggested that if the rumor truly involved Lil' Kim or anyone connected to her, Jay-Z might want to clear things up personally rather than allowing speculation to continue growing. This idea quickly caught the attention of fans and bloggers. The possibility of a private confrontation between two legendary figures in hip-hop history instantly became the most talked-about part of the story. People began asking the same question everywhere online. If Jay-Z really believed someone had leaked damaging information, would he try to confront Lil' Kim about it? No one knew the answer yet, but according to the growing rumors inside the industry, the situation might already be moving in that exact direction. And if those whispers were true, the next chapter of the story could involve a tense and very private conversation that might finally reveal how this entire controversy began. As the rumors continued to grow across social media and entertainment blogs, many people started believing that the situation had already moved beyond simple internet gossip. According to several anonymous insiders, the tension surrounding the story had reached a point where it could no longer be ignored. The name of Jay-Z was being discussed everywhere, and because his reputation in the music industry had been carefully built over many years, people close to him reportedly wanted to understand exactly how this situation had started. A few days after the rumor about the alleged leak began circulating widely, a podcast host made a surprising claim during one of his episodes. He said that someone inside the industry had told him that Jay-Z might already be trying to get answers privately. According to that claim, Jay-Z was not interested in creating a public argument or responding to internet gossip directly. Instead, he reportedly wanted to understand the truth by speaking to the person whose name had repeatedly appeared in the story, Lil' Kim. The idea of a possible confrontation between the two artists quickly became the most dramatic part of the entire rumor. Fans began imagining what such a conversation might look like. Both Jay-Z and Lil' Kim were known for their strong personalities and long history in hip-hop. They had spent decades navigating a competitive industry where reputation and respect were extremely important. Because of that, many people believed that if a private meeting really happened, it would likely be serious and direct. According to one anonymous source who claimed to know people in the music business, the alleged conversation was not meant to be aggressive, but rather a way to clear up confusion. The source suggested that Jay-Z reportedly wanted to know whether Lil' Kim had any involvement in the rumors that were spreading online. From his perspective, understanding where the story came from would be the first step towards stopping it. At the same time, other insiders suggested that Lil' Kim might have been just as surprised by the situation as everyone else. If the rumors were false or exaggerated, then her name being connected to them could also damage her reputation. This possibility made the story even more complicated, because it meant both sides might have reasons to feel frustrated about how their names were being discussed online. Despite all the speculation, there was never any official confirmation that a confrontation actually happened. No public statements were released, and neither artist directly addressed the rumors. However, that silence only made the story feel more mysterious. In the entertainment world, when two powerful figures remain quiet during a controversy, people often assume that private conversations might already be taking place behind the scenes. Some bloggers claimed that if a meeting did occur, it likely happened quietly through mutual connections within the music industry. High-profile artists often prefer handling sensitive issues privately rather than allowing them to turn into public drama. A calm discussion between trusted industry figures could easily happen without the public ever knowing the details. Meanwhile, fans online continued debating what the truth might be. Some believed that if Jay-Z had really confronted Lil' Kim, The situation would eventually become public because secrets rarely stay hidden in the entertainment world. Others believed that the entire rumor might simply be the result of exaggerated internet speculation that had grown much larger than the original story. Regardless of what actually happened behind the scenes, the rumor about a possible confrontation had already added a dramatic new chapter to the story. What began as a quiet internet whisper had now turned into a mysterious situation involving two legendary names from hip-hop history. And with both artists remaining silent about the rumors, people were left wondering if the real story might still be hidden somewhere behind closed doors. But as the debate continued online, another question started appearing more often in discussions. If Lil' Kim truly had nothing to do with the alleged leak, then how did her name become connected to the story in the first place? That question soon led to new rumors suggesting that people close to her might finally be ready to explain her side of the situation.